Good morning. I want to make this quick little video of what it takes to get an allocated bottle of bourbon here in Ohio. If you don't know what an allocated bottle is, some of you may be new to this because I'm getting kind of new to this myself. Allocated bottle is basically a sought after bottle. Doesn't necessarily mean a expensive bottle. It just means ones that are rare to find, hard to find, etc., etc. So I'm having a trouble with the way the system works, and I'll get in a little more detail in that while I'm en route. But for now, I just wanted to share. As you can see, it's 8 o'clock. The store I'm going to head to is open at 9. I am 30 minutes away from this store, so I am going to head in that general direction. So the way Ohio works, it is a state ran liquor agency, and they have this website, see it on my phone, called ohlq.com. So you can go in here, and this is supposed to be up to date. Oh, there's my alarm to remind me to get up. It's supposed to be fairly up to date on availability at stores. It's supposed to, they say it's up to date by the minute, but I find that to be less true half the time. So anyway, I lied in bed this morning searching for what I may want to go see if I can attempt to find at what liquor stores. So today, the ones I found are this Buffalo Trace branded Eagle Rare. If you see, it says it's in stock at a Kroger's that's about 19 miles away. I'm not sure how well that come up on my phone or on my camera. And the other one I'm going to look for is this Weller Antique, $49.99, again at the same Kroger's, 19 miles away. So I'm off to simply see if I can find those two bottles. So, here we go. So, while we're en route, just a little more in depth on what these quote-unquote allocated items are. So, these are, like I said before, they're just rarely found items, or ones that are in high demand, or even ones that are in short supply. They don't manufacture much of them. So I feel a true allocated item is more of the latter, more of the manufactured in lower quantities, the higher priced items, etc., etc. But in the bourbon world, or should I say the liquor or alcohol world in general, some of these are just popular items that some of these distributors, retail stores, even the distilleries themselves have found that are popular. So in a nutshell, they use them as leverage to sell their other products. So, and I feel this is happening across the board, not just at the liquor stores, not just at distributing, not just at at the distillers, but this is happening across the board. And what I mean is, distillers will only release a certain amount of said products to make the demand high, supply low. Distributors or wholesalers will use those products they do get from the distilleries as leverage to make retailers purchase more of them. For example, they'll say, I'm only going to let you buy X amount of cases of this allocated product, but in return you have to buy X many more cases of this non-allocated product. So there's where the distribution and wholesaler sides are using it as leverage. Then the retailers in turn are just passing that on down to the customer in terms of they'll withhold, and now every state's different. For example, I'm in Ohio. Ohio is a state liquor agency. The state controls every aspect of it. It's a little bit harder to get away with in Ohio because the state does control everything, but it does still happen. But for example, in non-state controlled states, liquor stores will withhold bottles. They'll keep it in the back, or they'll keep it behind the counter, and they will only let a customer purchase it if you're a good buddy, if you're a daily customer that comes in and spends lots of money. So again, they're using that as leverage to, sorry about the wipers, it is raining. They're using that as leverage to say, hey, you spend X amount of money and I'll sell you this highly sought after product. Even in states like Ohio, I've been finding this is happening also. Like I said, they're not supposed to be doing it, but they still do. Not so much your big retail stores, like here we got the Kroger's and Giant Eagles and places like that. Those aren't too bad. If they get stuff in, they tend to put them on the shelves, and guys like me can find it on the website, and hopefully it's on the shelf when we get there. But it's not always the case. Sometimes you get there and it's still not there. But your private mom and pop ran liquor stores are still withholding things because, like I said, hey, here's my buddy, here's my good friend, here's a guy I owe a favor to, here's a good customer that's in here all the time. And I get that to a certain degree, but in Ohio, technically that's illegal. If they get it in, the state says you're supposed to put it out for sale to the general public at retail pricing. Pricing is another thing that these allocated items are getting out of hand, in my opinion. In Ohio, it's illegal to sell anything past what the state says you can sell it for. But in other states that are not state regulated or governed or ran, however you want to say that, these retailers are charging astronomical amount of money. For a $40 bottle of, say, Eagle Rare, I've seen it online. And I've heard people talk in the Facebook group saying that it's going for triple, quadruple of its retail value, $100, $120. Also things like Blanton's that are highly sought after and popular. Retail on those is $60 to $70. People have been reporting upwards of $200 on these bottles of Blanton's. Now, I'm not talking about, you can group them in the same category, but like Pappy and like your higher age stuff, I'm talking your $200, $300, $400 bottles retail. I totally understand why those are truly allocated and truly hard to find and in short supply, and everybody wants one. I get those, but here in Ohio and then some other states, they're treating things like Buffalo Trace, your basic Buffalo Trace, or your early times bottled in bond. It's really popular right now because it's a good replacement for Buffalo Trace products. Those items are being treated as allocated items. Those are highly manufactured items. Those are manufactured in high quantities. There is no reason why those types of products are being treated as such. Yeah, they still are. There's folks in other states that are seeing Buffalo Trace at $60, $80 a bottle. That's a $25, $30 bottle of bourbon. There's no reason that it costs that much, or that you just can't walk into a store and find it on a shelf without asking the dude behind the counter if he's got any in the back. Those are the things I find that are absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, the two I'm after today, as you've seen, the Weller Antique. Sometimes a lot of states it's impossible to find any type of Weller products. Here in Ohio, we can get Weller Special Reserve, the green label, pretty readily. I could go to a couple stores within 15 miles of my house. I could probably find a bottle of that. The red label, the Antique, the 107, sorry, pops up from time to time, and that's what I'm kind of chasing today. I'm not going to chase a bottle and run my gas tank empty. I'm not going to drive halfway across the state, but at least with the Ohio OHLQ website, I can see when they come in, and hopefully I'm one of the first retards that walks in the door today and it's sitting there and I can purchase a bottle of it. The Eagle Rare, that's another one that I haven't even seen it on the website in the last couple months, and now it's showing they have it in stock there as well. So that'd be awesome if I can get 2 bottles for one trip, and we'll see what I can grab. So I'm en route now. Flip the old camera around here. I'm en route. I'll be there in like 20 minutes. And I'm going to stop and grab coffee and a breakfast sandwich. And then we'll come back to this when I get there. I did want to clear the air a little bit. I am not just simply chasing a couple bottles at a random store, from across the state or whatever. Like, I think I've kind of hit on that before. But the store I'm headed to is a store I've spent several $100s in, maybe bought a dozen or more bottles from. So it's not like I'm just popping in at a store I've never been at because I think I might have a shot at a bottle that I want, which, I mean, yes, in a nutshell, that's what I'm doing, but I have spent money in this store. Because some guys are going to try to say, well, I don't like guys like you that just want to pop in and grab all the hard-to-find stuff. One, like I said, I've spent money at the store. I frequent the store maybe a few times a month, at least a couple times a month. Two, I'm not going in here to clean them out. I'm not going in here to empty the shelf and then hoard a case of bottles or try to divvy them up amongst my companions, my friends. I'm going in here to buy 1, maybe 2 bottles. See what their policy is. If their policy is 1 per person on these bottles, I'm perfectly fine with that. I would like to have 2, just because I like to keep a bottle on the shelf and a bottle as a backup. Just cuts down on my trips to the store and keeps my supplies readily available. So these bottles will be for personal consumption. I'm not reselling them, or, well, personal consumption or consumption with friends. These bottles will be open. They will be enjoyed. And if I get 1, it'll probably be gone within a month. If I get 2, obviously that's going to be a 2-month supply. So I just wanted to clear the air on that, because I just had some conversations with some folks in a Facebook group where I don't like this whole allocated thing and how it's handled or what you have to go through, but that's either this or that. It's just the way it is. So I think I just wanted to clear the air on that. Another thing is, these 2 particular bottles I'm going after, and even some other ones like your basic Buffalo Trace brand, in some states, you walk into about any liquor store and they've got pallets of them, especially Buffalo Trace and sometimes the Eagle Rare. And then in other states, it's like a unicorn. Somebody would walk into, and I don't know what states, But somebody in another state would walk in and see an Eagle Rare 10 years sitting on the shelf. They probably think they just won the lottery on a $35 to $40 bottle of bourbon, which is just insane. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. But it is where we're at right now in this bourbon world. It is very popular. The topic's very hot, and people are out there looking for all the good stuff they want. But we need to seriously cut down on the secondary market. Cut down on the triple, quadruple the money for the bottles that some of these, secondhand stores or even your basic retailers in other states are getting for these bottles or asking for these bottles. Need to boycott those. And when I mean boycott, I mean walk in, see a bottle they're asking, a $30 bottle they're asking $100 for. Make it known to the store owner that you're dissatisfied with that, and turn around and walk out without giving them any of your money. I mean, that's the only way you could boycott these stores. That's the only way it's going to get done. Take money out of their pocket, and maybe you can make a stand. I mean, you can't just simply walk in, see it, walk out. You're not going to get your point across, but I think that's what I would do. I mean, does it make me seem like a bit of an a-hole? Maybe, but I mean, how else are you going to get the point across that, these places or retailers are hoarding these bottles for astronomical prices, and we don't want to pay for it? The only way is just to let them know and keep your money in your pocket and your wallet. So, all right, almost there. A couple more miles. It is a 8:45, so I got 15 minutes. I'll probably be there at like 10 till. The store I'm going to, it is a Kroger's grocery store with a OHLQ liquor agency inside the store. So it's kind of a store in a store. The grocery store itself opened at like 7 o'clock this morning, and the liquor store portion of it, the store inside the store, opens at 9. So I will record as I walk in. I'm not going to talk in the camera or anything. I don't need to bring undue attention to myself or make anybody feel uncomfortable. I have this small handheld camera. I should be able to just hold it and record, and you put down what I'm doing. So I'll turn it on once I'm there, walking in. I may walk in a little bit early, because you never know. Maybe they'll open the doors 5 minutes early. So we'll see what we get. So, what happened? As you can see, I'm at home now. I don't know what happened with my camera. It somehow got on time lapse or something. It's a brand new camera. Still trying to figure it out. But anyway, so what happened at the store? Um, Part of the video with the lady at the counter, that was also in time lapse. I'm going to try to edit it in and then speed it up, but there won't be any sound with it. You probably already just watched that. So I get there, and there's another gentleman waiting at the door already when I got there. He is also there for some Eagle Rare. And there was another gentleman that walked in just after us. He was there to get some Weller. So we looked through the window, and we seen all of the stuff was on the shelf. They had both Wellers. They had Eagle Rare. They had Sazarc, and there were some other items too that I wasn't interested in, so I don't remember what they were. But they were on the shelf. We could see them through the window, so I'm like, great, they have them. So we stood around and talked about allocations and bourbons and stuff. Just the three of us there. And then finally she opened the door, and the gentleman ahead of me went in, bought his bottle of Eagle Rare. No problem there. He just wanted the one and done. So I walk up and I say I wanted an Eagle Rare, a Weller Antique, and a Sazarc Rye. I figured they had it, so I wanted to grab one of those as well. So the woman proceeds to tell me, you're only allowed one. And I said, yeah, that I know, that's fine. I only want one of each. She goes, no, you're only allowed having one, period. So they had them all on one shelf. And she said, everything on that shelf, you're only allowed to purchase one per person per day, the entire shelf. And I was like, what? It's like, why wouldn't it be one product per person per day? I was obviously disappointed, and I didn't understand the policy, but she was just an employee. It's not her rule, so I wasn't going to give her too much shit about it. But she understood that I wasn't happy. But anyway, long story short, what am I doing? Well, what am I going to do? The only bottle I didn't have currently was the Weller Antique, so that was the one I chose. So I walked out of there essentially with one bottle in my hand, and I went after at least three. So went out to my truck and got on my phone, searched around for other stores. They had antique Weller at another liquor store that was going to be on my way home, so I figured, what the hell, I'll stop and see if they had any of that. But there was another Kroger's on my way home, and I'm assuming these two Kroger's in the same town are probably in the same system or in the what have you for delivery. So I was like, I'll just stop over, see if they have any at the other Kroger's. So I walk in. Now the website didn't say they had any, but I walk in and there's boxes everywhere because Ohio did not do deliveries last week for some reason. So everybody got like double deliveries this week. The state shut down their system. They did an update. So that's what I understand. That's why everybody was kind of low last week. But this week, they got double delivery. So I walk in, and there is a box of Eagle Rare there. Just one box. That was it. No Weller, no Eagle Rare. So I was able to purchase a bottle of Eagle Rare at that Kroger's. So then I go over to the other store on the way home, and they had the Sazarc Rye on the shelf. So I grabbed that, and I asked the guy, because it said they had Weller Antique. It says they had it on their website. So I said, do you have any Weller Antique? And the guy says, yes, but I can't sell it to you because it's in my wholesale inventory. So apparently, and I've heard a couple other people tell me this, Ohio, the retailers are also who distribute to bars and restaurants. So the state delivers to the retailers, the liquor stores, and they have to allocate. I hate using that word allocate. They have to allocate some for retail side and some for the wholesale side. So they sell X amount for retail, and then they have to hold on to X amount for wholesale to sell to bars and restaurants. So the guy said he had already sold his retail inventory, but he did say that he only has to hold on to that for a week, and then he can take his wholesale inventory over to retail inventory if it doesn't get purchased on the wholesale. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll be back to get that or not. But so he did have it, but he could not sell it to me. And keeping with the theme of this whole video, I think that's kind of bullcrap too. But That's a state rule apparently. So, but I was able to get Sazerac there. So, on the total take today, I was able to get my Eagle Rare. I was able to get my one Weller Antique. I was able to get a Sazarc Rye. I also picked up an OGD 114, which is available everywhere around here. Everybody in this area has that on the shelf. And I picked up another bottle of Evan Williams bottled in bond, because that's like a daily, and mine's over half gone. So those are my takes for the day. I'll include a little clip at the end of this video of the takes of my picks, and I think that'll be it. So yeah, didn't go as planned today, but I did accomplish something. So was it a wasted day? No. Was it a wasted trip? No. But am I semi disappointed? Yes. But it is what it is. I'm sure people in other states have it worse. I'm sure people in other states have it better. But that's what it takes. That's what it took for me today to grab a couple bottles of allocated items. They had other stuff on that allocated shelf at that store that they only allowed one pick. They had Weller Special Reserve, which there's several stores around here that's carrying that right now on the shelf for retail. Everything in Ohio is retail. I don't know why I keep saying retail, but they had Weller Reserve. They had, I think they had, what else? Sorry, my brain just went blank. Obviously, they had the Antique. They had the Rare Eagle, or Eagle Rare. I don't know why I keep saying that backwards. There's something else they had too. I don't remember what it was. All this, and they had the Sazerac on that shelf too. I'm not gonna choose a Sazerac Rye as my allocated pick. They're pretty readily available around here. Not every store has it, but you can find it. So I guess that's it, guys. Probably the video is a little longer than I wanted it to be, but that's what it takes to grab a couple bottles here in Ohio at this point in time. And I feel like today was a very lucky pick. Just lucky enough I had the day off. The store had it in stock. I was able to grab a bottle at 2 different stores. Tomorrow, it would probably be a different story. Tomorrow, you probably won't be able to do that here. It changes from one day to the next. But that's it. Like I said, I'll include a clip here at the end of the takes of the haul today. And be safe out there. More content coming soon. I'm going to do more stuff like this when the weather gets nicer. It'll be on my motorcycle, though. I'll go out a little bit further, do some extra miles, because generally in the summertime, I go out and just do bike rides, burn gas anyway. So I might as well stop in at some stores while I'm out there and about doing that. Something I already do. So be safe out there, guys. Good luck in your search and your hunt. Alright, just a quick bonus clip of the spoils today. Got the Eagle Rare, Weller, Sazerac, OGD 114, the Evans. I was able to get a bottle of Blanton's from a buddy. There's the other Eagle Rare. Cabinet's full. I'll do some rearranging. But there's the spoils of today. Later.